And so what I would tell you to do is specifically, you want to make sure that the landing page matches the ad as best as you can, right? You're trying to continue the conversation from the ad to the landing page. What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of the Weekly Chime. Dude, Trenton, we're on number 100. Dude, I don't know where time has gone, but I looked at that. Like, I saw that the other day when Tristan posted it. I was like, oh my God, time's flown. I remember when we did the very first one of these and we're like, we'll see if this catches on. And now we've got participants just racking up. You've got a lot for us today. Folks, if you don't know Tristan is, what is your official title, Tristan?
Are we talking Tristan or Trenton?
Sorry, Trenton. You can tell that it's still 8 o'clock my time, and I am on water, not coffee today.
Oh, that's great.
Trenton, what's your official title?
Tristan Associates Director of Technology. So pretty much covering everything tech-wise for Tristan's team.
Nice. Tristan will probably be on at some point. Is the deal with your team, like, do you guys all have T's? Do you all start with T names? Because
I wish.
Is that how it works? That's why I can never join Tristan's team. I don't have a T name.
Right.
So what do you have for us today, Trenton?
So today we're going to walk through how to work the CMS and Chime. We're going to go through kind of some frequently asked questions that you guys might have. I'm going to kind of walk through pretty much how to do everything and, as quick as possible. So that way, if we do want to expand on this going forward, we definitely can.
Sweet.
We're going to cover kind of the basics here.
Cool. Hit me with what you've got there, sir. And I will chime in as much as I can, but I'm going to let you kind of take the reins, if you would.
Cool. And everybody that's watching, if you want to drop in the chat kind of any questions that you guys might have regarding creating the Chime website, please do that, and we'll try to answer them throughout the presentation here. But for the most part, I'm just going to share my screen and kind of walk you through the back end of the CMS and kind of the main points there. Hello, Dave. Sweet. From Minneapolis. I hear it's pretty cold there.
Down Minneapolis. I think it's colder there than it is here.
Oh, I bet. There's some bad wind chills coming this week.
Right. All righty. Show us what you got. Oh, wow. Okay, so you're in the back end right now. For those of you that don't know, this is how you get into the actual website portion of this. Yes.
So right up here, actually, let's see. We'll zoom in just a little bit, make it easier. Right up here in your guys' Chime website, if you hit the website button, this will pop up your site list here. And this main one is probably going to be the one that you guys are going to want to have. You guys probably won't have any subdomains if you don't have team members. But this is what this looks like. And right off the bat, you have kind of just an overview of showing, your website visitors, some quick actions over here on how to create a blog, how to use the navigation menu as well. We have our landing page and then the organization info. Up here is kind of where you're going to do your editor. Good morning, Tristan. Up here is kind of where the filters, how to get to your blog, some widgets and some settings. So you just kind of walk through some main things here, but I'm going to jump into settings first. And again, if you guys have questions, please let me know.
We're getting them coming in, Trenton. So I'm gonna keep you posted as we find good spots.
Perfect. So on this settings section, this is some different information you can fill out here with your domain. Having an icon that's going to show up right here in this top left up here.
Look at that handsome devil.
Yeah, so you can see Tristan's face up because this is his website. Some other information here, once you start adding agents to be able to then add agent fields, and I'll show you guys that in the CMS section, this is where you'll do that. The other main section in here is the featured areas. So two things real quick. So if we went to our about team real quick. Here's where you can show off your team members. And here's in that settings section on your agents, that's where you're going to be adding these agents from your actual Chime CRM to be able to have their information set up in here.
Sure.
The other one is this featured area. If you guys want to have like neighborhood pages, this is a great place to have those listed on your website. And by adding these featured areas just in here, and you can do that right here with this add new area. So if we wanted to add, Newberry Park, actually, I think I already have that one. That might be a bad example, but you just select your city here, and then it'll populate some different options here. But if there's like a specific, I think this is one of them. So if I just wanted a specific master plan community, I could then come in here, and instead of selecting the actual city, I'm just selecting this community, which is, I believe, like this section here. And so by doing that, you're going to be able to build out this neighborhood page with literally a click of a button. So you won't have to add in any of this information because it'll already be presented in that neighborhood page.
So that's the first way to do it. There is another way to do it. If you want to actually create good quality, personalized information in there, you can actually create it as an actual landing page and actually build out the content within it. Mark was asking why we couldn't edit certain pages without absolutely having to recreate the city entirely. And Mark, if you want a really fast way to do it, this is the fast way to do it. Do it as a featured area, and then you can actually build it out really fast. And then if you want to actually go in and build out really high quality hyperlocal content, like what I talk about in pretty much all my coaching, you actually will go through and do this as an individual featured page and actually put the content in and all the blocks in, which I'm sure Trenton's going to show us here in like any minute. That will get it started. JR, to answer your question about the polygon, not yet. It's coming, not yet. You can do it a certain workaround, which I could talk about in the Facebook group later on, but right now you can't build out an actual landing page with a polygon yet. There are ways. It's just tricky, and it's too much to cover on this episode. Sorry.
Excellent. No, you're good. So that's a quick little, feature there. Another thing that we'll set up here in settings is this registration pop-up trigger rule. And this is so you guys can create your leads to be able to register right off the bat, get that going so they can just, I always have to do that to purchase.
Yeah, you did that. You did that on purpose that time, Trenton.
Yep. It doesn't flow out as naturally anymore. So then the registration here, if you have higher conversion, this is going to force them to register. But you can come through here and have it to where it doesn't register based on a pop-up, and you can have it based on browsing time or how many listings viewed. So this is where you guys can set that up.
And I know I'm going to get this question later. I know people are going to message me on this question later, so I'm going to handle this right now. If you're going to ask me what my settings are before anybody emails me or messages me, I will tell you what my settings are. I'll go back one more. Okay, if you go to higher conversion, I click on that, and then I go down, I save that, and then the next thing I change is in the pop-up style and settings. Yep, I go to one-step column all the way at the end. I do this, and then I go all the way down to the bottom of that page, and I turn off Facebook and Google. And if you're going to ask me why I do that, if you are getting a lot of email-only leads with no phone number, set your pop-up style to this and leave it, and do not change it. And it will get rid of all those email-only leads, because what's happening is people are registering, or they're starting the registration process, and you don't have enough valuable information that they're willing to trade all their information like in stages. They have to think about it more. If you put it all in one setting like this, you have a better chance of getting that full conversion. Sorry.
No, excellent little tidbit there. Our next section here is kind of this questionnaire setting. So this is where when they are registering on your website, you could have additional questions being asked. And so you could add your own questions. You can go in here and add different options that you want to add with that. If you want to have, are you a first-time home buyer? You can turn on these off. You can ask if they want to be pre-qualified. You could literally have as many questions as you want, but just keep in mind that, that could also cause some drop-off unless you don't require some of them, so keep that in mind as well. So you don't want to overwhelm.
Mine's turned off, just so everybody knows. Because I know every time we do these, Tristan, every time I do these, I get messages after like, what are your settings? It's like, I'm just going to tell everybody as I do this.
Great. And so you can also do it for seller as well. So there's 2 different questions here. You could have a pop-up after registration. You can allow them to close it if you want. That would probably trigger higher converting, so that way they can actually fill it out. This next section is the chat box setting, which is this little guy down here. And so once you do register, that's where that would be able to pop up at. And so you guys can have it a few different ways. If you guys have your AI turned on, you could definitely do an AI assistant to them respond right away with them. Oh, I almost did it again right off the bat. And then you have your live chat. You can have them leave a message, or you can even do the Facebook Messenger. And then obviously you can even choose different agents to be able to respond to these as well. So if you have an ISA, you can have that set up. But then you can kind of go through here and be able to answer some of these questions here and change some of the colors if you want, things like that.
So I'm gonna answer a couple of questions that are coming in right now. How do you change the name of the bot? That's actually done in settings, and you go down to your AI settings, and you can change the name of the bot within the AI settings. Scroll down, AI assistant right there, and scroll down. Oh, there it is, Francis. Ha! Look at that. It's right now. They moved it for me. Yay. But that's how you change that. Francis. And then there's, is there any way to move the registration form to the chat/AI? If you actually look on Trenton, if you can go to the main page that you were just on, like the actual live website, your live one, yeah, and then click on, see where it says quick connection. So if you look right there, if they want to chat with you, they're going to put, that's a registration form. So they're going to register if they start chatting with you, if they're not already a user of your website. They're going to be required to register if they want to chat with you. So there you go. That should take care of that one. I'm just going through a few more of these. We'll get into the website analysis going back more than 30 days, which you can. You just have to change the date on it. Okay. Keep going, Trenton. I'm just going to keep up as people go.
Yeah, so this rest of the part, you guys can probably figure out some of these, but it's just lead privacy to, make it a team lead versus private lead. How you want to update your source. So if someone registers on your website, what do you want this to be called? And just some other options here that, you guys can kind of play with. This integrations one down here is pretty big, and this has been updated. But you can easily connect your different Google integrations here as well as your Facebook pixel. And it makes it simple, or super simple just to put that in there now.
Yeah. And then, Trent, if you could go back really fast to the actual page editor, you don't have to do the blocks as I'm saying them, but I get this question all the time, and I'm just going to answer it in one place. So if someone wants to come back and review this afterward, like if they post the question in the Chime group, I'm going to focus them to this episode. So everybody asks, and I get a lot of messages on this, what is the best format for a landing page when you're running Google pay-per-click or any form of paid advertising? And so what I would tell you to do is specifically, you want to make sure that the landing page matches the ad as best as you can, right? You're trying to continue the conversation from the ad to the landing page. You're trying to make it feel really relevant is what you're trying to do. So make sure that you have testimonials on your landing page, and as many as you can that are specific to whatever type of landing page that is. If it's a buyer landing page, make sure your testimonials are specific to buyers. If it is for a seller landing page, specific to sellers, right? From there, using video blocks, and Trenton can probably show you where the video blocks are, right? You want to make sure using video blocks, you have as much education as you can have on there about your process. Don't keep it hidden. If people want to copy you, they're probably going to copy you anyways. But there you go. You need to have videos of like education on there. Fill the page with relevant information that matches what was in the ad. So when they continue that conversation, they're like, oh yeah, this makes sense. That's building trust. And then you need 3 call to actions on the page, and all 3 of those should lead to one goal. Okay, so either contact us, search for homes, schedule an appointment, whatever's fitting for that ad that you ran. And so for the lead, it looks like, hey, the lead is searching for something. Let's say pool homes in Denver. I don't know why you'd be looking for pool homes in Denver, but hey, maybe maybe people want pools in Denver. That'd be like pool homes in Alaska.
Yeah.
So Then they see your ad, right? That's like search all pool homes in Denver. And then they click on the ad. And now they land on a page that has all the information that they need about like pool homes in that city. And as far as education is concerned, you can cover things like pros and cons of having a pool in Denver, right? It freezes. It gets cold as in there. What's the cost to maintain a pool in Denver? Does having a pool in Denver actually impact your property value? Like, that's the kind of information. And then the call to action on that would be something like, ready to find your pool home in Denver. That's the kind of thing that you need to have. And then right below all of that, have like 6 to 12 homes that pull up in like a featured search that have homes that have pools. And the header of that should be like favorite homes in Denver with a pool. And that is the best converting landing page you can do for pay-per-click or anything like that. So that helped.
That was awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great help there. So
and Mike Gazzardo is like, that's exactly what I mean. Mike, do that for dock homes with docks. Sorry.
well, you're good. So this next section, and we can get here through the editor or as well in this overview section if you hit edit website. Here's kind of the big editing page that you'll need to be familiar with. Keep in mind up here, there's a desktop version and there's also a mobile version. So you can kind of be, checking both of them because, while yes, you're creating your desktop website, the majority of the users are probably going to be come through on your mobile website. So just keep that in mind. I believe it's...
And there's actually a way to check that too. So if you go into the reporting tab and you actually look, you can tell if you have more mobile or more desktop, and you can actually start telling demographic based on that too. So yeah, hit your reporting and then go to your site traffic and then scroll down. Keep going. Page views by device. And so on Tristan's business, it's slightly more mobile than it is desktop, but don't exclude desktop because look at that, 42.9%. It's more than you probably think it is that still use desktop. And what that tells me is that you're going to have kind of an older demographic than you would. Most of us that are even younger than me, we'll use my wife as a prime example. That girl is on this thing more than I would like to admit. Like, it's pretty bad. So don't exclude desktop.
You can almost think like if it's a really high mobile, then you can obviously probably figure out what that demographic is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And you can also go further down, if you scroll further down, if you go into your actual site traffic, when people ask me like, oh man, I need to build out my homepage, like how do I make my homepage look better? Look through there. If you notice, homepage doesn't usually show up in pages look at your first one as listing detail. So I would put a lot of focus on your listing detail. I'd put a lot of focus on, obviously your blogs are working. You're getting 46 visitors in the last 30 days to your blog. I'd put some effort into that. I would put a lot of effort into making sure that when you look at like neighborhoods and about us, make sure you have a lot of effort put onto those because you're getting some good traffic. But that's how you see where you should be putting your efforts.
Excellent. That's great.
Oh man, we have so much here. Okay, so can we cover good SEO? Okay, so I'm going to cover SEO really fast. If you go into the Chime Facebook group and you type in SEO, I've done like so much outlining on this. I have like a white paper on this and everything. But here's the deal. And Tristan's going to laugh at this because I know he's going to laugh at this. Dude, putting effort into SEO right now is pretty much dead. And the reason is because search as we know it in the next 12 to 18 months is most likely going to change so much. It's not going to be SEO anymore. It's going to be AEO, which is AIO, AI optimization. AIO, isn't that weird? But it's going to be basically getting yourself in front of AI, and SEO as we know it will be dead within about, I'd say 9 to 12 months as we know it. So, and it's cool. Anyways, but yeah, if you go into the Chime group, search it. I've covered that so at length it's kind of scary. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Excellent. No, you're good. So this is kind of your main editing website page here. And three sections here. So you have your blocks, which you'll be able to add to your site. And so there's a bunch of different options here, and I'll go into that a little detail. You have your page section, which you can find all of your pages that you have created. And then you have your style section. And this is how, if you're wondering, well, how do I change my font? Or how do I change these colors? You're going to go into the style section, and first you'll start out with a different template that you can use. We're using the 4th template. And you can create your theme. So we have our primary color here is this blue, which is where you'll see that used throughout. And again, if it hovers, you can try to change that color as well if you wanted to. You can play with your different title sizes, your button styles, if you want it a little bit bigger. And then your font here, and we're using Poppins at the moment. But this is just where you edit that part. That's probably not the most fascinating thing, but it just shows you where you can edit that section. I'm going to create a landing page real quick, and then we can kind of walk through that. But just keep in mind over here, these are the menu sections. So these are what you're showing up here. So home, buy, sell, neighborhoods, blog. And by creating a folder, you can then create a new tab as well. So whatever you wanted to name that, and you can hit settings, and actually I don't want to hit settings there. I guess I can't hit settings on these anymore. Because it's a folder. But if you hit settings on the page, it'll pop up the different settings here that you can have. So let's say you only wanted it to show up on desktop, you could do that. Or if you just want it on mobile, you can choose this. You can select which agent this is going to go to, things like that. So it'll show and display. Let's see, if I went through the home page here, you're going to see some different sections that I kind of want to walk over. And one of them here is the section over here. So when you highlight each one of these sections, this settings section will pop up if you're able to edit it. So this thing right here, this hamburger icon, you can then drag this block anywhere you want to rearrange. Now, a new feature that they added is you can just use this up and down arrow to make it a lot more simpler, because sometimes it's always hard to drag that before. Now you literally just hit, and this will move this. And so the way we have it set up right now is to be able to, search for properties right away. We have our featured communities, and then we have search homes for sale right here. So that way, for our area, we can have them directing directly to those new listings right away here. And then we put our featured listings to show off some of our agent listings, our just sold listings. And then this section here is the agent details section. But for some reason, it's showing up like this. But actually on the website, it shows up like this. So that is a little interesting that it's displaying that way. And the next section we have is our blog. So that's kind of what this section is here. Some of these you can hit this edit button, and then this will pop up another section over here to where you guys can edit this specifically. So, if you wanted to change the font style here, maybe you wanted to have this be a background image instead of a color. Here's kind of where I said that you can add those featured areas. And by adding them under settings, neighborhood, you could then just select these, and they'll get directly added to the website here. Another thing is this desktop spacing. So this, if you look at this right here, this will kind of show how much space you can have in here. I typically have at least 25 to 50, just kind of keep it on simple numbers. And that's usually a good space amount here. The other thing is if you hit change style, what are you on? The featured communities, I think. So you could then go through here and change the different way this looks. So whatever works best for you, and that can show off kind of your section and your communities the best, you can go that route. And if you're wondering, well, how do I even add this to the page? That's where this block section comes into play. So if this is a featured community, I have this featured area here, and this is where you literally just drag and drop in here. And now we have two featured areas. And so you can either hit this edit button, or if you double click each of these areas, this section will pop up. So since we don't want this one here, we're going to delete this.
And Trenton, if you scroll down on that block, if you scroll down on the featured communities block, you can add as many featured areas as you want. Want advice? Do 6. No more than 6. It takes up too much page otherwise.
especially on mobile, because then you're going to be scrolling. But then again, it could be directing you right to where you're looking for. But yeah, so that's what that looks like there on mobile there. But yeah, so kind of what Brett mentioned, you can add any of these blocks. And so we have agent blocks. So these are, kind of like this section here. So if I really wanted to, I could just hit change style, and this will pop up these as well. And then you can go through and choose which one looks best for your website. Some other blocks here, this different banner. These are good page blockers. You have your blog, which is kind of like down here. So again, we chose this style because this one just kind of looked the nicest. You can add different mortgage calculators, calendar. This is new. But you can have a direct appointment set up, which would be great for a different landing page if you guys are trying to book appointments. Maybe it's a ad that's trying to book a appointment with your mortgage team or something like that. You can have your contact section. Content, this is a good one. If you ever just want like a normal text block, this is good for that. And, you can change your image. You could have this. If you know code, you can come in here and make some edits there. Otherwise, what I would usually do is just kind of start fresh from there, just delete everything. And then I might just say, like, new homes for sale in Calabasas. If I know how to spell that. And then you can play with this if you want to do your headings, make this bolder, whatever it is. And this will show up kind of just right in here. Again, you can move that around, but we're going to delete that one. Some other good ones are like a CTA. So again, kind of as Brett mentioned, whatever you're doing to sending to a specific landing page, make sure that CTA represents that. And so they have different blocks here where you could have two different links here. Maybe it's a buy and sell. Maybe it's a certain type of home, and this is a certain type of home, and you can change the links there. You can do the specific code right here if you want to embed something. Featured areas, forms, because whenever you send them to a page, you probably want to have some type of contact form on there to be able to fill out. This gallery section, so let's say that you have, whatever this would be, you can come in here, double click on this and start adding images that would, let's say you have, a new construction business or custom home building or something of that nature. You could then have some of those featured custom homes as images. Maybe you're featuring a new home community. You could have those images as well in there. And so that you can keep going through, if you want to fill out a guide, have a hero image, which is kind of like this thing up here. Home valuation. So these are all just like blocks that you can add directly to the page. And as you can see, there's a ton of them. Let's say you're hosting an open house as a live event. You could have this fill in right here as, direct them to this open house, virtual open house through your ad you have, and then just have this link on your website. Different market snapshot and trends. And some of these will require you to register in order to be able to see them. So like if we went to this neighborhood page, you can't see the market trends until you give us your information. So keep that in mind. And then so you're just going to go through here. And again, there's plenty of options that you can kind of choose from to build out your page. And the other way to do it as well is if you go down to page, or you go to page and add page, you could also click some of these already pre-filled out pages to get a start. So let's say I wanted to focus on a featured area. You could then click that and have this open and then choose one of your featured areas to feature. And so each of these could be created as landing pages for you guys as well.
Great job,
You
Trent.
guys have
This was awesome.
awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. Tristan, good seeing you. Trenton, good seeing you. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, see ya.
See you guys.